Christy's going to take us through how to match the foundations, what skin types are going to suit the individual foundations that we've got. I think you're going to do a little bit of the liquid, Christy, aren't you, and a little bit of the pressed foundations. So I'll just let you go ahead, Dale, and then we can sort of pick it up from there as to what else we need to cover.
Okay, no worries. I hope that like nighttime's probably the worst time to do makeup. However, the concept is the same when you're trying to identify the correct foundation color. So hopefully you can, my beautiful model Ree is here again. She gets roped in every week. She just cleaned up my kitchen and now is going to be a model. So she's a keeper, girls. That's for sure. So we do have a new beauty edit, and I apologize that I haven't got a new one at the moment, but even so, if you use our Nutri Bible, which is what I call it, this is our product catalog. So this has all of our gorgeous products in it. And when you're doing a quick referral on the foundations, it has this great fold out color section in the back, and all of our colors are in here as well as the foundations. So I'm not sure if you've got that book handy, you can have a look at it, or you can just listen to me talk. So the foundation I'm going to use on Ree tonight is actually our NC Coverage. So I'll start probably at the other end first. And in this book, it's very clever how they've got it set out, because they start where the foundations actually are in the book. They start with the lightest coverage and it goes through to the fullest coverage. So that's a little handy trick. If somebody comes to you and says, I want a light foundation, we'll start at that end. That's where you are. So let's go. I've got fumble fingers, sorry girls. So a light foundation, we have our sheer tint, and the sheer tint has been around, I think, just about since Nutrimetics started. Sheer tint, I've got to find one, and it is just basically like a tinted moisturizer. It's great for all skin types. It's got the apricot fruit extract in there and has the SPF of 15. Now, just because you don't wear, this isn't a full coverage, it's a great foundation to pop on even just around the house, because if you're popping out to the clothesline or popping up to the shops, you're still getting that protection of the SPF over your skin, but you're not getting a lot of coverage, which for some people, that's exactly what they want. It's very light in its texture as well, and it comes in light, medium and dark. They're the three color tones that you get for that one. It also has the vitamin E in there, which I know a lot of people search for that one as well. So it's like a very dewy finish on your skin. The next one is the Beauty Veil, and this Annette, did Nutrimetics start with Beauty Veil?
Yeah,
I think. Yes.
Yep,
and we used to have a few more colors. However, it's just the 4 now. So it's a natural tint, a cool Rochelle, a neutral glow, and a warm beige. Now, let me tell you, if somebody's trying to pick out of the brochure, a natural tint is probably what everybody can wear. Those that have been around and have used Nutrimetics for a long time will know, like the warm beige is the next one. So they're the two that I sell the most of. It's really like a no makeup look. So it's a medium coverage that you're getting in there. And all of our foundations are mineral based. So what that means is when it hits the warmth of your skin, it actually adapts to your skin tone. So if you put it on and you feel that it's a little bit dark or maybe a little bit bronzy or oompa loompa-ish, not too oompa loompa-ish, just give it a couple of minutes and it should settle down and it'll blend into your skin quite well. So that's the Beauty Veil, the two popular ones. And then we're moving into our Perfecting Oil-Free Foundation. Now, the oil-free foundation is good for all skin types, and it's got lots of colors. So vanilla, bear, nude, almond, honey, and sienna. And actually how they do have them listed there in the book is a pretty good indication on, the light through to the dark. A couple of the others I've probably would swap around, but this one's actually not too bad. It's hydrating. It should last up for about 8 hours, and it is quite fuller in its texture. It has the green bean extract in there, which is actually really good antioxidant. So it's a really good one to use for all skin types, like I said. This one, when we were doing like physical training, I found a lady that came, and she was probably, I don't know, she was in her 70s, and
Quite
she's
young
very,
still.
yeah, very young, just over 21. And she had a very dry skin type. And when this was first released, like, we're all so keen to try it on everybody. And we put it on her skin. And because she had like laughter lines and, you know, those sorts of things, because her skin was dry, it actually grabbed onto those areas that we don't want to highlight. So a little trick with this one is, if you have somebody with a really dry skin type and they like, some people like the color out of this one than another one, just mix a little bit of a serum with it, like our moisturizing serum, or the what's the other one? The luminous serum. Just matte, or, you know, a bit of moisturizer. Just mix a little bit of that with it and then apply, and you'll find that it won't grab quite as much. It is like, you can use it for the dry skin type, but don't be terrified if somebody says, like, it actually looked like it aged her, which is not what we want to achieve. And whilst, you know, you might look at that as a negative aspect, it's actually quite a positive thing that I've told you, because you need to know these things. And when we took it off and then reapplied it with a bit of moisturizer, different person altogether, and it went really well. And she probably still uses it to this day. She wasn't my customer, but yeah, so just a little hint with that one. But it does, it's a really great glowing, good coverage, give you long lasting wear. Okay, in that one. And then we've got the next one along. They've actually got our mineral powder, and I guess everybody just saw this when it was on sale. These were on sale for $20. That was a ridiculous price. I don't know. Sold a truckload of these ones. I sell this at full price, let alone when it's on sale. Now, the mineral powder, you could actually put this right at the beginning as a light coverage, right through to our fullest coverage. And that's because you can actually build with this one. You can build it through the skin. So if you're just sort of ducking down the shops, you can put a quick application on and out you go. And then I have actually turned up at weddings, met a bridesmaid for a first time. She's quite sensitive, and have built this through to a full coverage, you know, for a bridal wear, which, you know, for photography, we have to have a fuller coverage for lighting and all those sorts of things. So this is just my most favorite foundation. It's a pressed powder, as you can see. You can't buy refills for this. It just comes in the compact with the mirror, and it does come with the sponge in the top. It has the 6 colors: ivory sand, toffee, maple, nutmeg, and mocha. Now, if you want to write this down, or you're going to go back to watch this, that's fine. It's compare. So the ivory is actually light. Okay, so for the very pale skin types is ivory. Sand is like a medium person, so in between the light and dark. A toffee is actually a cool, warm skin tone. Cool, dark skin tone. Does that make sense? I've got myself confused now. So we've got light, medium, dark. So then this is a cool dark, is the toffee, and then the maple is a warm dark. Okay, so, and then when we jump into the nutmeg and mocha, which are quite dark, they're the ones that will cover off our indigenous, islander, Italian, like our quite olive complexions. So I hope I didn't confuse you then, even though I confused myself. But it's just perfect. Now, I used to, have you ever been through McDonald's, and God bless the young girls, that's what they do, and they're probably still at school, but I used to call it the Macca's line. Have you ever gone in and you've seen girls, Ree's laughing, seen girls and the foundation's dead stops here, and you think, oh, and look, I know how to get through that situation. All you need to say is, oh, Danielle, you must really enjoy makeup. I would love for you to come be my model, and then you get them on the right track. So that's how you get around a McDonald's line foundation. I just made that up, but that's how it goes. But with our mineral, what I'm saying is, with our mineral powder and our minerals in our foundation, that will never happen, because when we apply it, that mica bead is adapting to our skin tone and the warmth of our skin tone, that in a few minutes it will blend in, that you don't have a line at all. And it's just like you can't see where it stops and where it starts. Now you can build that right through to like the full finish. It does have the SPF of 12 in there, and it says a 12-hour wear. And look, in summer, this is what I'm touching up with between shows. And I went out to Gundawindi and do our Christmas launch out there. I left a compact in the car, and it got so hot that the park brake actually melted into the top of the thing. So, but this absorbs the oil. And you sweat. So if anybody is experiencing menopause and comes to you and they're an excess sweater, this is for them to use. I have one in my car, one in my bag, one in the bathroom, and yet I just ran around then trying to find one because I have them scattered everywhere. But this is great for anyone entering into that perimenopause or menopause power surges. And I just love it. You can tell because I've talked about it so much. So if you've got any questions, just sing out. That is also like a matte finish. And also we used to have the translucent powder, which was a loose powder. And a lot of the oldies, my customers have, requested that over the time. This has actually replaced that, and it's in a pressed powder now. And then,
can I ask, do you use it dry or do you use it wet or dry?
You use it dry, Janet, and that's a very good point, because I'm going to use it on the top of a liquid. But when you're using your sponge, and if you are using it on top of a liquid, just make sure you don't put moisture on top, because it does compact it, like, when the excavators go through and you can see it's dug into the soil, it does compact it, and it's really difficult to use. So always use it dry. And also we used to have a foundation that was called wet and dry. Is that right, Annette?
Yes,
was it called?
Right.
Yeah, wet and dry. Yes, and you could wet your sponge or have it dry, but this one definitely dry. Okay. And then the last one, and it's about our newest, not our last one. This is the NC Cover Rich. Now, this is for all skin types but oily. If you're oily, you can't use this one because you'll just feel like a slick pot. This is my go-to all the time. It's amazing coverage. It's a full coverage, has the SPF in it, has a sugar complex in it as well, and just long lasting all the time. So I use this in my formal makeups because it does give a nice dewy finish, and with the mineral powder on the top, I just find that it can do me the 10, 12 hours during the day. Even when it's hot, I find that this one sits really well as well. What else can I tell you? Oh, it's perfecting. So what that means is it has those ingredients in there to help enhance, the good parts of your skin, and not, like I said, that oil perfecting one grabbed on to any fine lines we have, whereas this one doesn't necessarily do that. Well, I've got fine lines, but I think it looks okay. And it has the 4 colors: butterscotch, biscotti, caramel and praline. Can I tell you, with biscotti, if you have somebody who is a difficult skin type, you know how you have that one child that's naughty and one that's not, you'll find that you'll have somebody like that with a skin type. They'll usually be biscotti. Biscotti usually matches those one that you can't match to. So that's just a little hint on that one. And all three of those colours, all four of those colours sell all the time. And then we've got our Flawless Air. Now this one is a liquid and it's actually in an eyedropper type thing. It's also a glass bottle. So I've had many a customer drop and smash that. So just be aware of that. Now, the Flawless Air, who remembers the phase where airbrushing was going through? Everyone was having this airbrushing done. That's how you had your makeup done. This is a very, very similar concept and finish as an airbrushing. However, we're applying with a brush with this one. Now, it's cream, beige, camel, golden and tan. Now, camel is pronounced camel because we don't want foundation called camel. I don't know why they call it camel when all the others are different. So we had this little, you know how you call Target Target? So camel is camel. That's how we say it. Just joking. Anyone can have a go at me if you like. Anyway, this one's a bit different, that it goes with a cool, you choose it whether you're a cool skin type or a warm skin type, if that makes sense. So the other ones are going with color. These are sort of going with, you know, your skin tones. So cream and beige are usually with the cooler. Gold and tan are usually with the warmer, and that camel sort of sits in the middle a little bit there. It is a lovely one. I find for me, it moves a little bit, but when I wear a primer, it's much better. I sell a lot of it. It's very popular and it's great for formal makeups as well. So, but always give it, like it's really liquid, always give it a good shake. And particularly if you're carting it around and then get out at somebody's house, just be aware that when you open it, to make sure you've got, you know, a cloth or something down if you haven't got that lid tied up pretty well. But it's a very popular one as well. And this one is, these two are what's featured in our new beauty edit there. Now, to choose the right foundation, and Ree's going to have to come in a little bit more here, it's very simple. So what you usually do, if you looked at those colors, you would usually look at a color, like I've been doing it a while, so I probably chose the color that's suitable for Ree. But you look at the color and maybe pick three. Pick one that you think would be too dark, one that you think would be right, and one that you would think that would be too light. So in the coverage, we've got biscotti, caramel, and praline. So I'm going to take those three, and the trick is to remember where you put them. So I'm just going to do it on Ree's forehead. And so it's just a dab on my hand, and then I'm going to put a stripe on her forehead, just like that. So that's praline, that's in the middle. And then we're going to go the caramel. So in the book, the caramel is the last one, and it's the darkest one. And like, I already know that this isn't going to suit Ree probably, but that's the caramel. So that's a stripe there. And then she might be one of our problem children and be the biscotti. So the biscotti, like I said, is the one when you're sort of struggling to find the right one. So there's biscotti that's there. And I'll have to get Ree to come in really close so that you can see. But can you see the different stripes on her forehead? I'm not sure if you can. When it disappears, so you can slightly see the two darker ones and the lighter one, the biscotti, you can't really see. So when it disappears, that's how you know you've got the right color. So for Ree, I'm sorry it's a bit dark for you to see, but for Ree, she's actually going to be the biscotti. And that's how we match them. So I always do the forehead, but I do know that some people do it down near the ear area there as well. If you have somebody who is a bit more sensitive and they're worried about trying it, always try down near the ear area there, because it's away from eyes, it's away from all those sorts of things. So with the biscotti, I'm just going to put a little bit more on my hand. I've got my disposable sponge, and what I just do, sorry, just gave her a fright. I would obviously take those other ones off there, but we just take that through and we pop that on. Less is best all the time with Nutrimetics, so you're always going to have a good coverage. I'm always quite generous with my foundation though. That's just me. So, of course, you would have primed or done all your concealing and all those sorts of things prior. So I'll just do one side and not the other. I think you'll notice a difference. Okay, pop in there. Can you see? It's really hard, this light, isn't it? Can you see one side is, that side's done and the other side's not? I'm not sure if that's good to see.
You can see.
You can? Yeah.
Maybe go back just slightly, darling, and just come in just slightly. Come in again.
Slightly. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great coverage. I'll just take those other ones off. It's a great coverage, the coverage. And so matching to that, does anyone want to have a go at matching the powder? Or will I just do it for you?
I want to have a guess.
You want to have a guess? Go for it, Deb.
I think sand.
Yeah, I think so too. And can I tell you that Ree has never used any of our makeup, even though she's been hanging out at my house for a while now.
I used to steal mum's.
Used to steal mum's. I haven't actually done a colour match or anything on her yet. So this is her first experience with me bossing her around and everything like that. So, okay, so there's the liquid. And then with the sand, Deb, that's what I was going to go for too. So with the sand, what I'm just going to do is use the backside of that sponge where it's dry. I'm going to load it up, and you can use a brush or you can use a sponge. It's whatever you choose. And I'm just going to do that over the top. And what it's going to do is set the foundation and just give it a fuller finish. And that should stay on there. I usually load up a couple of times. It depends on the skin too. Sometimes if the skin is dry, you know, you might need a little bit more and those sorts of things. Now, if you are over 21 and you do have a few more laughter lines, I'm not sure how to put that, Annette, now you've told me.
The age of elegance, Christy.
Age of elegance, that's what it is. So for somebody like, you know, that might have a few more character lines on their face, but if you're building to a full coverage, so Ree, if you just go in, like she's got a good coverage on there at the moment, but if this was for a formal makeup, I would keep building. But if somebody, Ree doesn't have any, but if somebody had quite a lot of lines around their eyes or has been a smoker or, you know, all those sorts of lines, what I would be doing is avoiding building in those areas. So let's just say Ree had some lines around there. What I would be doing is just padding around that area to give a fuller build with the powder. So you're going to get a fuller coverage, but you're not going to, powder will grab onto a fine line and powder will age her if you put too much on there. So you just pad that through and build around those areas. Of course, with Reach, it's no problem. So you could just keep building as you go. So from one side to another, I hope you can see a little bit of a difference there with Ree. But always when I'm selling a liquid, I will always sell a powder with it because I feel that it sets and complements our liquid foundation so well. And, you know, like I said, it's compact. It can go into your handbag. You can wear it on its own, or if you're going for that fuller coverage, just pop that on as well. So that's a very speed date application. Does that make sense for everybody?
Christy, could you use a foundation brush instead of you've used your hands there with the little sponge applicator? Could you use a brush there to do that?
Yes, absolutely. And we had those cute little kabuki brushes. We've got, you know, our beautiful brush collection, but absolutely. And I usually find that's a personal choice. You know, there's no right or wrong with it. The brush gives just as good application as what the sponge does. So yeah, very much so. But that looks really good, Henri. Don't you think? I know it's hard for you to see.
I think Janet's got a question there.
Yeah, that's all right. Christy, you'd always use the powder over a foundation, would you?
Yes, I do, Janet. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. It just finishes off really well, and it will hold that like what a translucent powder used to do. This does as well, so it holds it in place so it doesn't move. So, and also too, like if you know, sweating with summer or the, you know, the menopause situation, the matte in the mineral in this one will absorb it, so you don't actually see the sweat and that coming out. It's quite incredible. Next time you're really sweaty, even if you're not going out anywhere, grab your mineral powder and actually put it on to see how it does absorb all of that for you. So yeah, it's quite clever, quite well done, the formula in that one. So, but it also takes out, like, it hides all those broken capillaries, redness in the skin, pigmentation, all of that is hidden with the minerals in the foundations. So I was just going to, was there any more questions on that part? No?